the other absolutely aghast.
Well. What is this? What is happening here at the Salt Lake Stadium? Tables have turned. Imami East Bengal, they've turned things around, and these are tears of joy, tears of relief. A yellow card will be shown. Diamaticos, he will take it. 2 goals. He was brought on the first from a penalty, and now a half turn, a big deflection, but it is him making those runs, gets that half yard away from the defender. Look at that. And then he gets his shot off. Big deflection by Alberto Rodriguez over the goalkeeper, and Oscar Bruzon. He knows what this means to the club, to the legacy of Imami East Bengal if they get a victory today.
Yes, they have won matches in the Calcutta Football League against Mohunbagan Supergiant, but there's a caveat to that. Most of the time, you're not allowed to play any foreigners in those local leagues. Yes, they have won a match at the group stage of the Indian All-Durand Cup 2 years ago against Mohunbagan Supergiant, which is a larger stage. And there they managed to get the bragging rights. But when it comes to these big stages, over the last 3 years, in those last 10 matches, it's been the Mariners that have been sailing their way towards victory time and again. On this stage, on this day, when you're trying to showcase the might of a new look side against your biggest rivals, this is how you make an impression. Oscar Bruzon and his new charges are a force to be reckoned with. There is no doubt about it. Having finished with their best finish of just being 9th in the ISL so far since they've joined the league, this time, early indications with this performance is that could truly make up in. Cross coming in, Abi Nitai is the one to beat it, but Edmund Ladradika with his resilience is trying to draw the foul.
Yeah, the pace here. Imami East Bengal. They have picked up, especially after scoring the second goal.
Yeah, it's Edmund Ladradika with the cross up here. Defense well, finds Liston Colasso. Invisible in that first half. Scored in every game so far, 5 goals, 1 assist, so he has 6 goal contributions in the previous 3 matches that he's played. But this is a bigger fish. Akuya ventures into the box, tries to play in, or rather that was Ashish Rai, tries to play in. JD McLaren takes a swipe at Chununga. Foul given.
Well, it is a battle of the bells now for Imami East Bengal. Look at that, Chununga protecting the ball very well. And a wild swing there in from behind. Sheesh, right.
I wonder, Karan, had it been any other part of the pitch, would that have been a yellow card?
Had to be, Adish. It has to be a yellow card. It was, nowhere near the ball. Ashish Rai knew, and there was no apology. Interesting.
I guess the referee's interpretation, we're not speaking for him, but given that the fact that it was in the East Bengal defensive third, perhaps that's why he let it go. But Ashish Rai definitely is a lucky boy to have escaped a booking there. One out of frustration. It was clearly out of frustration. Anirudh Thapa now in a slightly withdrawn role if you compare it to the first half. Given the introduction of Cummings, Abhinita slips it towards Jamie McLaren, who's trying to keep the ball in play. Shielded shoulder by shoulder with Siddiq.
Well, this is the battle. This is the battle I was talking about, Atish, in the first 45 minutes, and now as well. Two very similar players, players of similar build as well. And Sibier, he knows he's a very good defender, very sensible with his positioning. And you see when ball's been played, aerial balls especially, He's not the tallest of defenders, but his timing in the lead, his timing, it's really impeccable.
Kevin Sibier, of course, a player who has experience in the youth setups of River Plate and Valencia in Argentina and Spain, as mentioned earlier. Even though his passport or the country that's shown here is Italy, he was born in Buenos Aires. And we know about that derby as well, the Bombonera derby. River Plate and Boca Juniors fouled by Rakib on Liston Colasso. So it's a free kick in an interesting position for the Mariners. Liston Colasso himself will take it. No Jason Cummings this time. Looking for his second assist of the season, of this tournament. Chips it into the 6-yard box with not too much pace. Rafsukan Singh gave him with a mistake, and on the follow-up, it's cleared off the line. Oh, they came so close. CBA once more with the rescue act.
Yeah, ball played perfectly in and defended well by Anwar there. Rafsukan Gill. He needs to do better. If you're a goalkeeper, you're going in for that aerial battle. You need to go and make contact. You need to go and punch it out. Here, Cummings goes unmarked. Maybe his positioning a little too far away from the near post. It's hard to get the ball in, angle that in towards goal. Just tries to flick it there. Although still, you see that. Very hard from that angle where you're so far ahead from the near post to get it on target.
Don't forget that this is going to be a true test of the discipline of Imami East Bengal as well. Yes, you can score the goals, but can your defense stand firm against such a power-packed lineup? Against a lineup that has dominated Indian football in the past few seasons. The domestic double, prior to that, an ISL Shield and an ISL Cup. So in the last 3 years, they won 4 trophies, or the 4 major trophies of Indian football. Rakib, meanwhile, trying to shield Liston Colasso from getting to the ball. How do you play your cards now, Karan? How do you play your cards if you're Oscar Bruzon? How do you play your cards if you're Jose Molina?
Well, it's interesting here now, especially for Imami East Bengal. They're 30 minutes away from regulation time, where it is a 2-goal cushion, which is a big advantage so far. And now this formation is working for Oscar Bruzon. You wouldn't want to change much. Although now for Mohunbagan Super Giant, for Jose Molina, he needs to inject more pace in this attack. Maybe get the other Demi on as well.
Again, the biggest cause for concern for Oscar Bruzon is 2 very key players, or 3 very key players in his lineup. 2 of them I would wish to highlight are on a yellow card. And the 2 that need to be highlighted are Saul Crespo and Miguel Ferreira. The reason being that they are the ones in midfield. Dimitrios Diamantakos is an attacker, so you won't expect him to lunge into challenges as much. But Saul Crespo and Ferreira need to be very careful not to get that second booking. Bipin puts it out for a throw as he watches and sticks to Ashish Rai. We're past the hour mark now. And so far, Imami East Bengal have shown their might. Interestingly so, rarely so, if we talk about the recent outings in the Kolkata derby.
Yeah, 3-2 victory there, Tish, in the recent Kolkata derby, and carrying that forward. But now, of course, not the same players playing here for Imami East Bengal and Mohunbagan Super Giant.
Sahal Abdul Samad slips into the box once more. He's getting into very interesting positions, is Sahal Abdul Samad, from the right wing.
Yeah, ball played in, although Anwar, perfectly timed challenge there on the ball. CBA, you saw that, he's very happy with that challenge. When you connect so sweetly with the ball, it's always great for defenders.
The connection was the opposite of sweet. First by Cummings and then by Abhimita. As bitter as they could get. There was almost a chance for Imami East Bengal to counter, but the referee blows the whistle. foul by Diamantakos on Thapa, apparently.
Now this is a set piece here for Mohunbagan Supergiant, maybe a little too central for them, and it's hard in these kind of set pieces to get something out of a direct free kick. Maybe Apuya, yeah, as expected.
Yeah, Puya did chip it into the box, but it was CBA with the header. Nervy moments are in the way for Mohunbagan Supergiant, there is no doubt. They need that one goal. Could Liston Colasso provide that inspiration to get them going? Rakip has been so watchful and so impressive against the number 7 today. One more corner. The third for Mohunbagan Supergiant in this match. And it is Liston Colasso who will take it. Time, a curler towards Prabhu's goal. Nearer towards Prabhu's goal. Yet cleared away. They have enough numbers shielding to the red and gold brigade. Sahal taking a turn. Sahal with the cross. Cleared his lines.
Interesting. Once again, Imami East Bengal now soaking in the pressure. Everything that Mohunbagan Supergiant, they're committing numbers up front, especially Atish down that right flank where crosses are coming in from, where Sahal is making his runs from. Now for Imami East Bengal, it's not just about time wasting, because there's over 25 minutes of regulation time. It's also about keeping the ball.
Yeah, Imami East Bengal, of course, please remember, 2-0 up, but it is a match of 90 minutes. There is no extra time. It goes straight to penalties should the Mariners mount a comeback. Abimita loses the ball. Miguel Ferreira with a cross. He's unhappy with that effort himself.
Very interesting now from Imami East Bengal. Once every single time in those counter-attacks, now they are possessing, they are posing as a threat. Now, the Durand and coming, they have been very flat so far, and the kind of football that Mohunbagan Supergiant are playing, where they are not the kind of strikers where you just ping the ball in towards them. They want to make runs in space. They like to come short. They like to play with each other. And now Mohunbagan Supergiant, they need to play accordingly.
Every time I look at the pitch though right now, Karan, I can only see more Imami East Bengal players. I can't see as many Mohunbagan Supergiant players. Such is the discipline. Look at the way they pack the centre. Look at the way those 5 or 6 players are there in the centre so that there is no space for the Mariners. Liston Colasso with a bit of skill. Thapa chips it towards the on-rushing McLaren, and this is the only way they're getting through towards Jamie McLaren. But these are hopeful balls, and that's good indications for these fans of Imami East Bengal.
Yeah, it's also the angles that the midfield is creating. Now for Imami East Bengal, when Jamie McLaren, he's making those runs, it's away from goal. Even if he gets the ball down, he receives it, his back is facing the goal. It's hard for a striker now to turn you around or do something from there. And Anwar Ali just perfectly directing the likes of Cummings, or directing the likes of McLaren to make those runs away from the 6-yard box, away from the goal as well.
So I guess the question that needs to be asked is Liston Colasso finds himself in space. Found himself in space again, Mohammad Rakib. So I guess the question that needs to be asked right now then, Karan, is that have Imami East Bengal been so impressive, or have the Mariners underwhelmed so far?
Yeah, he's taking no credit away from Imami East Bengal. They have looked like a different side, look like a side that are playing with confidence, that are playing the kind of football that they want to play. They are dictating the play, they are not being dictated. And credit to the midfield, especially when the likes of Miguel, you've got Saul Crespo and the likes of Mahesh coming in, or Edmund in the first 45 minutes, Pippin, playing as one unit. Here, Miguel Pereira, he needs to be careful. Like earlier you said, that he is on a yellow card. Saul Crespo is on a yellow card. And if he has these kind of challenges going forward, it could be a problem now.
Oh, no doubt about it. I was worried for Miguel Ferreira for a minute there. It was innocuous on Anirudh Thapa. Meanwhile, Colasso goes straight for goal. It crashes into the crossbar. A sighter by Colasso, taking Sukan Gill by surprise as well.
Well, what are those feelings that listen, Colasso?
Thapa! There's your glimmer of hope. There's that moment that kickstarts the emotions. There's that moment of joy. And it's Anirudh Thapa who sailed the Mariners towards the island of reprieve.
Perfect there for Anirudh Thapa. There is that hope now to get that equalizer. Football played is good for Anirudh Thapa, whose side was only at goal, although was there a touch? Maybe not. It goes past defenders, it just goes past with ease. Mohunbagan Super Giant, just like that, they've got hope and they've got a goal.
Genuinely out of nowhere, Karan. Genuinely out of nowhere. Listen, Colasso with that hopeful free kick, crashes into crossbar, goes in for a corner. Thapa from 30 yards out. Wow. Such is football, isn't it? For the full 66 minutes till then, it was all Imami East Bengal in control. And then suddenly one moment has changed everything. And Jose Molina is bringing in the changes. You can see Deepak Tangri there, ready. So is Petratos. And so is Dipendu Biswas. So wholesale changes. Given that it's pre-season, Tom Aldred is just playing his second match. Deepak Tangri will come in. Another defender, and Petratos gets the captain's armband too.
Yeah, three big changes, and now this man, we know what a difference maker he can be. When he gets the ball, when he gets set pieces, he can be a troublemaker. He can be a goal scorer, and he has been.
Rakib's just been given a yellow card for time wasting, and fascinatingly enough, the third player that has been substituted is the one that has recently had the telling touch. It is Anirudh Thapa that has been called back onto the bench as Miguel Ferreira seems to be in a heap of trouble. There you go, those are the substitutions. Deepak Tangri coming in, probably will be in midfield because Dipendu Biswas has also been introduced and Tom Aldred has gone out, and so has Sahal Abdul Samad for Dimi Petratos. Rakib takes the throw. Colasso. Petratos couldn't keep possession, but Akuya shifts it towards the right. Jason Cummings is now on the right flank. Combines with Ashish Rai expertly, and Ashish Rai continues his run. Anwar Ali at the near post. Pippin, anywhere will do.
Well, we have line control it there. Now staying compact, Imami East Bengal, look at that. One back to four, then five midfielders, and then Diamantikos, lone man up front. Miguel has been joining him in attack, although now they have been able to keep Miguel quiet.
Ashish. It was a toss towards the center of goal by Deepak Tangri. No takers. Much to the disappointment of Jose Molina. Ashish Rai once more. The marauding right back almost found the top corner.
Ashish Rai there. Ashish Rai, the kind of chances that Mohunbagan Supergiant are getting, like this one with his left foot. Wicket save there by Prafsat Gill. Gets it over the crossbar.
Sixes and sevens and almost finding the back of the net. Appeals for handball not given. Imami East Bengal are crumbling under the pressure.
Yeah, it does look like that. They're not being able to handle
Golasso. Sorry, Karan, I had to cut you off because there's another shot. They're just taking these chances so quickly because the momentum is with Mohunbagan Supergiant and they just don't want to break it.
They're looking very, very dangerous, Mohunbagan Supergiant. And now, Prafsat Gill knows he has to slow things down. Petritos, another man who has been brought in. Fantastic substitution where we know Tom Alfred has been brought on. All men up front, defending to submit for Hapa as well. Fresh legs for Jose Molina.
There is no doubt that this match is on textbooks at this point. There is no doubt that the pace of the match has changed after the Thapa goal. Until then, yes, there were moments where Mohunbagan Supergiant would try to pile on the pressure, but Imami East Bengal looked solid, looked compact, looked suddenly, post that goal, it's been a very different ball game altogether. The formation for Jose Molina has changed as well. He's gotten his frontline attackers, he's gotten that terrific trio of Petratos, McLaren and Cummings at his disposal. Heavy touch by Pippin, another corner, there you go, another indication of how much pressure is being piled on.
Another corner, this time from the other side now. Petritos, set piece specialist, he knows how to whip those in.
He whips it in towards the near post, it is Pippin with the clearance. And Edmund Lal Radika will accept it with open arms.
Yeah, just flicks it over there, Edmund, and then uses his speed to get their first indoors ball. Here, look at that. Just gets past the Puya, who needs to be careful because he is on a yellow mark there. The late challenge, Sal Crespo was asking for a card. He was asking not just for a foul. 75 minutes where this is another drinks break, although it's a chance now for Oscar Bruzon to put some sense in his team or put some confidence in his team because they have that one goal cushion even now.
Yeah, this drinks break sends the angst though in the red and gold brigade camp. These are anxious moments, there is no doubt, because Mohunbagan Supergiant have looked like a different beast ever since this moment.
Yeah, that's what a goal can do. Jose Molina, we saw him celebrate as well. We've not seen him celebrate like that after winning